Hi, I'm RWoodruff here in beautiful Junction City, Oregon with the BISH RV organization. Today I'm going to be making a Louisiana-style gumbo over white rice. And I say style because I know better than to say that I'm making Louisiana gumbo. We are in a 2022, yeah, brand new, darn near used 27 FE Freedom Elite. Just got this in on trade. I'm really excited. It's kind of a nice small kitchen, so this is going to be fun cooking in an RV. So we've got our white rice. I usually prefer long grain parboiled white rice, but it's easier in an RV to go with the instant rice. We've got our shrimp, our frozen sliced okra, our andouille sausage, our crab meat, our bacon, our sugar, our vinegar, Worcestershire sauce. Yes, I said it wrong. We've got our garlic Tabasco sauce. Here we've got our tomato sauce, our peeled tomatoes, fire roasted, beef bouillon, our bay leaves, our Creole seasoning, our New Orleans seasoning, our thyme, salt, pepper, a little butter, cup of flour, Walla Walla sweet onion, bell pepper, and celery. This is called our Trinity. Very important ingredients for what we're doing today. So we're gonna start off with our bacon grease. We're gonna start off with fresh bacon, and we're gonna turn it into bacon grease for our roux. Okay, I'm gonna dice this up, put it on my little cutting board over here. The back side of your sink cover is actually a cutting board. And that way, you're not tearing up your kitchen countertops. More important, I want the grease, not necessarily the bacon. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the bacon in there, but for my roux, I need the bacon juice. Typically our center burner is gonna be our high output burner. It's gonna give you the most heat. I'm gonna get that rendering. While that's rendering, I'm gonna get my vegetables ready because that is gonna go directly into the roux. Okay? We've got our bell pepper. I've been trying to do it without a food processor or anything like that. This is gonna be a lot easier. I've got a nice little one, great for an RV, nice and small. Now I'm gonna get all my vegetables diced up. I'm gonna set them right here while my bacon is rendering down. I wanna turn that into a roux before I add my vegetables. And I'll tell you what, the smell of bacon cooking in an RV, that's a childhood memory. I'm getting up to the smell of bacon and eggs. Wonderful. But I've said it in the past, I'll say it again. I do love a good sweet onion. So just let that hang out. Our bacon is good. I'm gonna get our bacon out of here. The recipe does not call for bacon in the dish. But yeah, it's gotta be. It's bacon. Okay, so we're gonna turn our flame way down. I deviate a little bit. I like to add a little bit of butter, which is fat, which is what bacon grease is, which is going to give us the right amount of consistency. And to this, we're going to add 1 cup of flour. So as soon as my butter is completely melted, I pre-measured that, I cheated, yay! Gently stir in our flour. And this is what we call making our roux. And this looks like a metal whisk. But if my wife asked, I was using the rubberized one. As long as nobody tells on me, we're gonna be fine. And we're gonna cook this and let it brown up a little bit. I don't think I have quite enough fat in there, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. I like my roux to have a certain consistency. Should be almost like an oatmeal, I think is the term. Oh, there we go. Now we've got a really nice, there we go. If you don't use the Trinity in your gumbo, you're not making gumbo. That is one really hard, fast rule I learned from a friend of mine who we do call the Ragin' Cajun. Larry, miss you. So we've got a nice brown to it. And now we're gonna add our vegetables. And we're gonna cook this off a little more until our vegetables are thoroughly cooked. We're gonna get our vegetables blended in with this. We're gonna cook this off until the easiest way to tell that your vegetables are properly cooked is the onions start to become translucent. At this heat, I like to keep things moving so we don't end up with overcooked spots and undercooked spots. And this is the base for the gumbo. So our vegetables are cooking nicely in the roux. And now we're going to add our sausage, our andouille sausage. There's a lot of different sausage. It is very specifically andouille. And we like to take and cut it into bite-sized chunks. This is gonna add some oil into our mixture. I'll be adding in 1 pound of andouille sausage. Do like a little angle cut to it. It makes it prettier. Gonna give this a nice stir. Get everything blended together. This should cook for about 10 to 15 minutes to get all these flavors combined. I'm gonna put it on the back burner here while it simmers away. And we're gonna go ahead and start on building the rest. So I've got about 3 quarts of water in there, and we're going to add some bouillon. And we're gonna need what would be about 6 cubes. And since I don't have it in cube form, we're gonna be guessing. So we're gonna let that come to a boil, put the lid on there, hold the heat in, and give this stuff a nice stir. And this is a rubber spoon. Our beef base water is just now starting to boil. Our bouillon is completely dissolved. It's got a really beautiful, solid au jus brown color to it. And look at that, it's just starting to get rolling. And we're going to add our roux mixture to this and whisk it all together. As soon as that, oh, look at that beautiful boil. There we go. Be careful adding this. Look at that beautiful color there. Okay. Gonna break that roux down, get it all dissolved in there. Now, if we hadn't cooked our onion down, all that onion would be floating because uncooked onion just floats. Not a good look, not a good flavor. And we're gonna let this simmer for a few minutes, and then we'll add a bunch of our seasonings. So let that come back up to a boil. Our base is now simmering, and we're gonna start adding all of our seasonings. So we're gonna be adding a couple of bay leaves. Down in California, where I actually went to culinary school, you could literally go outside and just pick bay leaves. It was always kind of funny. And what's really funny is we've got this brand new jar of bay leaves, and you know, they're kind of big bay leaves, you know. And that's the top they put on it. Yeah, I shook it, it just didn't come through that little hole. Sometimes it just cracks me up, and it's plastic. Oops. Wow. Okay, we're gonna need a little bit of sugar, about half a teaspoon. That looks like about half a teaspoon. And we're gonna need a little bit of our Creole seasoning, and we're gonna put in about half a teaspoon. I like it a lot. I'm also kind of partial to my New Orleans seasoning. And I'm gonna have just a little bit of that. It's not coming out very fast, so I'm really not adding that much to it. You gotta have Tabasco sauce on just about everything. I don't think I've ever put too much in. I'm not gonna say that name. If you ever want a really great read how somebody came up with the recipe for that stuff and why it's named that. I'm going to give all that a nice gentle stir.
Well, now I want to know.
Look it up. At this point, we're also going to be adding our, I use diced fire roasted tomato. I like fire roasted. It just adds a really nice flavor. And remember, when you're buying cans of stuff, this is going to be our tomato sauce. If you didn't bring a can opener with you, make sure you get the kind of can that you can open without a can opener. Seems like a silly thing, but I remember one time I did not bring a can opener with me. Beat the snot out of a knife opening that can. We're gonna give that a nice stir. And we're gonna let that simmer for a little bit. So at this point, I'm gonna get rid of that waste bacon that we made. Because it didn't hurt. Tastes good. And give that all a nice gentle stir. At this point, we're gonna let this simmer for about an hour. So this is my minced garlic. We're gonna add a little bit of minced garlic in there. And like I said, this is fresh minced garlic that a local farmer, former co-worker, he used to grow this right here in the Willamette Valley. Really fresh, beautiful garlic that he's minced up for me and jarred up for me. We're gonna add a little bit of our thyme. Your seasonings go bad a lot quicker than you think. They really don't last for a year. It's more like a couple of months. And then they start to lose their flavor and their characteristics. So if you've got old seasonings, take a look at how old they are. You may need to get rid of them. A little bit of salt. I'm kind of partial to the Himalayan pink salt because it's pretty. Give a little bit of salt in here and a little bit of pepper. There we go. And we're gonna give that a nice stir. Oh, it's got such a beautiful look and a beautiful flavor. And we're gonna let that simmer and we're gonna let that roux kind of do its thing and thicken up our gumbo so that it's a nice consistency. We've been simmering this for quite a while, and now we're going to prep our okra. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter in there, and we're gonna put in 2 teaspoons of white vinegar. I'm not a real big okra fan, and I don't know why we need to put the vinegar in there and saute down the okra, but I do know this. Okra is not to be taken lightly, and if they say to do it this is the way we do it, because okra can be a very unattractive vegetable. Tastes good, love fried okra, but they say to do this, so this is what we're gonna do. It really should be bacon grease, but I put all my bacon grease into the roux. I don't have any more bacon grease, so I'm gonna just use the fat, which is butter. And we're gonna cook that down just a little bit while this is still simmering. I'm gonna get the shrimp prepped up, get the shell peeled off of it. Some people like the shell on. That's just a lot messier, because then somebody's gotta grab the shrimp and peel it. So I prefer to have peeled shrimp. I went with a larger shrimp. I'm gonna split these in half. I've got my shrimp all peeled up. It's already deveined. Gonna slice it in half, because these are the big shrimp. If you use the 40 count shrimp, you probably don't need to cut it in half. But with the 16 to 20 count, that's a bit big for someone to take a bite of. And you wanna add your shrimp very last, because shrimp is gonna cook up very quick. So we don't wanna overcook it. So right before you serve it up, throw the shrimp in. Should take about 10 minutes to be fully cooked. We've got our okra simmered down. We're gonna use a spoon and we're gonna make sure that we just take the okra, not the juices and the vinegar and grease and oils. We just want the okra in here. I cooked this for about just over 15 minutes. There we go. Give that a stir. At this point, we're gonna add the last of our stuff. Here's my crab meat. This is about half a pound of crab meat. It really should be a whole pound, but at the price of crab today, I thought half a pound was gonna be okay. Now we're gonna let this simmer for about half hour, 45 minutes. So we've got 2.5 cups of rice. I've got it all, fluffed it up with my fork. Looks like it's about ready. And yeah, that feels like it's about ready. Doesn't take a whole lot of room in the kitchen, so I picked one of our smaller kitchen coaches, made a beautiful gumbo, steamed rice. We're about ready to serve up some of this stuff. Get a little bit of everything in here. There we go. Got some bacon, got some sausage, got some crab. Oh, there we go. This is Roger Woodruff with gumbo, steamed white rice, cooking in an RV here in beautiful Junction City, Oregon, with the great Bish organization allowing us to do this. And if you like it, let me know. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.